Let's get right into it. We need to talk about one of the most confusing and honestly, one of the most painful parts of personal growth. And that is why the people who are supposed to be your biggest fans can suddenly get quiet, distant, and just, well, weird. I mean, think about it. You finally get your act together, you start hitting your goals, you feel good about yourself, and then the entire vibe with your friends or family just shifts. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you are not going crazy, and you are definitely not alone.
So, to really get what's happening here, let's tell a story. We're going to talk about a guy named Marcus. Now, Marcus isn't one specific person, but his story is incredibly real for so many of us.
Okay, so Marcus goes through a big life shakeup, and he decides, you know what, it's time for a glow up. And he goes all in. He lands a much better job, starts taking his health seriously, even starts therapy, and finds this whole new level of confidence. He feels better than he has in forever.
But then the weirdness kicks in. The texts in the group chat start to dry up, the invites to hang out just stop, and those inside jokes they always had, suddenly they have this sharp edge to them. And Marcus is just left feeling confused, kind of hurt. He's doing everything right, so why does it feel like he's being punished for it? What Marcus was feeling wasn't just him being sensitive. It's a real, predictable psychological thing that happens. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of why your personal growth can cause so much friction with the people around you. The core idea here has a fancy name, systemic homeostasis. It sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. Basically, every social group, your friends, your family, it operates like a system with an invisible thermostat. It's set to a very specific temperature, a specific normal that everyone is comfortable with. A therapist named Annie Wright puts it perfectly. She says that when you start to succeed, you turn up the heat in the room. And what happens? This system's thermostat kicks on and tries to cool things back down. Those weird comments, the silent treatment, that's the system trying to get you back to the old temperature. So yeah, this isn't just you imagining things, it's a real, almost automatic response from a social system that feels like its balance is being threatened. So let's break down the 5 biggest reasons that thermostat kicks on. All right, we're going to get into the 5 key psychological drivers behind all this weirdness. And once you understand these, you'll stop seeing it as a personal attack and start seeing it for what it is. That system just doing its thing. All right, first up, the moment you start growing, you become a mirror, and a lot of people don't like what they see in the reflection. As the author Alfred Librano says, your success can be a painful reminder of their own choices. Your new career might remind a friend of the dream they gave up on. You getting in shape might remind a family member of the gym membership they're not using. That reflection is uncomfortable, and sometimes it's just easier to get mad at the mirror, which is you. Okay, reason number 2 is a big one. You disrupt the hierarchy. See, every friend group has unspoken rules and a subtle power dynamic. Maybe you were always the person who needed help, and they were the helper. When you start thriving on your own, you mess with that whole setup. Their role becomes kind of pointless, right? And that loss of status, that shift in power, that can be really threatening. They're not just losing the old you, they're losing their comfortable spot in the group. Number 3. Now, this one can sting a little, so just brace yourself. Sometimes people preferred the version of you that was a little more predictable, a little easier to manage, and, let's be honest, a little easier to feel slightly better than. This is a classic case of what's called tall poppy syndrome. Picture a field of poppies. If one poppy grows way taller than all the others, it gets cut down so they can all be the same height again. Your success makes you that tall poppy, and the group, often without even realizing it, will try to cut you down to size with little jabs or by leaving you out. It's all about keeping things comfortably average. All right, number 4 gets into what's actually going on inside their head. All that weird behavior you're seeing, it's often just the symptom of an internal battle they're having with themselves. It's called cognitive dissonance. On one hand, they think, I'm a good friend, but on the other hand, they feel this surge of envy. And to make those two conflicting feelings make sense, their brain uses defense mechanisms. They'll avoid you or rationalize it by saying you've changed or downplay your achievements to make them seem like no big deal. And that brings us to number 5. And this one is probably the most intense reason of all. It's called malicious envy. This is not the good kind of envy that makes you want to work harder. No, this is the dark kind, the kind that makes someone want to see you fail. And get this, neuroscience has shown that for some people, seeing someone else succeed can literally activate the same pathways in the brain as physical pain. So their cold shoulder isn't just an emotional reaction. To their brain, your success actually hurts.
Okay, so we get the why now. It's heavy stuff, I know. But the most important question is, what do you do about it? How do you keep moving forward without shrinking yourself just to make other people comfortable again? Here are 4 things you can do. 1, recognize this pattern for what it is. It's a system issue, not a you issue. 2, build your shield. Go find people who get excited by your success, not threatened by it. They're out there. 3, and this is huge, stop trying to manage their feelings. It is not your job to play small so they can feel big. Let them have their reaction. And 4, when you share your wins, do it to inspire or to teach, not just to announce. That changes the entire energy of it. So what's the big takeaway here? What do you need to remember when all this is happening? It's really simple, but it's not easy. You never, ever have to apologize for your growth.
I want you to hold on to this idea. Your success is not a personal attack on anyone else. It's just proof of what's possible. And sometimes, by being that tall poppy, you're the one who catches enough sunlight to show other people the way. In the end, this whole painful process is also a gift. It's a filter. Your growth will show you exactly which of your relationships are real and which ones were conditional. So the question I want to leave you with is this. As you continue to grow, who is it revealing in your life?